What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things box. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you get notified as soon as any new content drops on the channel. Without further ado, let's get into this one. So, as many of you will know, Savannah Marshall knocked out a neutral opponent between her and Claressa Shields. That was about a week or so ago now. And Claressa Shields, she was ringside out there in the north of England, out in Newcastle and that. And, she jumped in the ring. They had a little stare out. And, of course, all the talk now regarding those two, Savannah Marshall, Claressa Shields, is all about them two fighting. They've both won their sort of warm-up fights now. And they both want to get it on in the ring. Now, Claressa Shields, when she was interviewed, I believe this would have been post the Marshall fight, she said, yeah, I want to do the fight, but it's got to be a neutral ground. And her version of neutral ground, she said, is London. She said she really wants to fight in London. She wants to fight in Wembley or the O2 Arena. Now, if she's talking about Wembley Stadium, I think that's a bit too ambitious because obviously they're not going to, between them two, they're not going to sell like 80,000, 90,000 tickets. The fight is not on that scale. O2 Arena, I sort of understand that's about 20,000 seater, you never know. No guarantee that the Northern fans would travel all the way down to London for that, but it is a possibility, and I definitely do see where she's coming from. Shields was saying that, look, I'm making a sacrifice. I'm here in England. I'm American. I've come to England. You guys should be happy to see me, blah, 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 that sort of thing. And says, I'm making a sacrifice as I'm over here. But in my view, I'd say this, that yes, in a sense, it is nice to see elite boxers over here in England. But let's not kid ourselves. She's not over here out of the goodness of her heart. She's here to make money, and she's here because this is where it's at for female boxing. This is a great place to be as a female boxer, and there's big fights over here that she can have. So that's why she's here. She's not here just to do a good deed for the people. I think she has got a point about the neutral ground because obviously, yeah, I see where she's coming from. She's an American. She's going to be fighting in England. But as I like to say, one could argue that when it comes to boxing, you've got to go where the fight makes the most financial sense, where the fight makes the most business sense. Regardless of what you want to say about neutral ground, you got to go where the fight makes the most commercial business sense, where the fight's going to be the biggest, where it's going to have the biggest audience, and where it's going to make the most money. And I would argue that that's definitely England, and you could even argue that it's definitely the north of England, because as we saw in that fight with Savannah Marshall, lots of fans traveled down. She had loads and loads of support. She's been built up in the north of England. So you could argue that, well, that's where the fan base is. Claressa Shields, she calls herself the Gwoat. She's an exceptional talent, but she's not really like a household name. She's not a cash cow in the sport. So you could argue that, okay, she talks about neutral ground, but if the fight makes the most financial sense in the north of England, close to where Savannah Marshall's from, then that's where it should be as a business proposition. And as Shields has been talking about knocking Savannah Marshall out. She said, she was going to knock her out, but she's also said, well, I don't want to be where she's from up there in the north. I can understand that, but at the same time, she did say she's going to knock Marshall out. So in my view, it's like this. If you're going to knock someone out, you're going to knock them out. You're not going to need to worry about the crowd or the fans or whatever. And, over the years, since I've been following boxing, since I was a very young kid, early 90s, it used to be America where you'd look to that's where everybody had to go. All the top British fighters would always have to go to Vegas or go to New York to Madison Square Garden or whatever, because that's where the money was. That's where it was and everything. During the Klitschko's era, when Vitaly and Vladimir, when they had the belts, for the most part, they made all their title defenses in Germany. They were having all these big major fights in Germany, and some television networks didn't like it. I think HBO didn't like it. They canned it. They found it boring. But the fact was, when those guys were champion, whoever you were, whatever country you came from, you'd have to go to Germany to make the fight. That's where the money was. That's where the champ was. That's where you were going to get paid and everything. So that's what it was then. And I suppose in this sense, although Marshall's not a massive name, but I'd say in terms of ticket sales and fan base, she's definitely got Shields beat in that department. So yeah, I think I'm very happy, very looking forward to this fight. And I think it would do very well in the north of England. And I'd say that as much as I see where Shields is coming from, if she is the Gwoat and all this sort of stuff, then why not bite the bullet, go to someone's backyard, fight them and beat them, and that's it. That's what I'd say. If she's confident, believes in herself, let it happen in the north of England, because at the end of the day, that's where she's probably going to get paid the most money. Talking about Shields, and Savannah's going to get paid, a lot of money too. So I think it makes sense to just have the fight up there in the north, where the big fan base is and the big crowd is, and where you're going to fill up and pack somewhere out. Maybe the O2 is an option as well, but I think it does make a lot of sense in the north, because that's where the fan base is. And Shields doesn't really have a fan base or a big audience, or it's not a big ticket seller where she can match that. So I'd say just do it in the north. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below, and until next time, it's MKO Pugilism, over and out.